In this video, we will discuss on arrays. More importantly, we'll discuss on one-dimensional arrays. Now, arrays are essentially like vectors. Now, imagine if a vector called A, it has properties of these, and you want to use an array to represent it. Now, to initialize an array, to create an array, you use the same data type like float, because we have decimals in here, float, and the name of the variable, call it vector A, and we need 1, 2, 3 spaces, so 3. There you have it. You've just created an array. Now, what does this do? Essentially, it creates a box. But the tricky part here is that it doesn't have 3 boxes, it has 4, because it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Remember, it always starts from 0. There are 2 ways to initialize it. Now, this would be the first method, the tedious one. Let's say we want to put values in it. Now, vector A at 0, at subscript 0, is equals to 5.6. Vector A at subscript 1 is equals to 7.2. Vector A at subscript 2 is equals to 6.4. And now I've initialized it. We have values in here. Now what happens to this last box over here? The program needs you to reserve an extra box for it to put a null character to represent that it's the end of the string. This whole thing can be called a string as well. It means the end of the whole thing. There's no need to check further. There's nothing behind there. Now, how about if we can actually initialize it and create it using one line? This is what I mean. This is another method to do it. Let's say we create a variable, an array called vector A, and we want to initialize it within the line. Open curly brace, 5.6, 7.2, 6.4. There you have it. Without writing these 4 lines, you can actually write using a line. But just remember, you have to use a comma to separate it. So this belongs to subscript 0, this belongs to subscript 1, this belongs to subscript 2 automatically. So let's look further and deeper into arrays. Now, arrays are usually used with for loop. I'll give you an example. Let me create a program. Include stdio.h. I hope by now you're familiar with this. Int main. Now, float vector A 3 is equals to, let's say, 2.4, 6.2, 8.9. Now, I want to display the vector A and display the elements of vector A. So how do I display it without typing so much printfs? It's easy to display it. Just do this. Printf as usual. Then the elements for vector A is \n. So we use a for loop. For int I, we're initializing I as 0, you'll see why. Then as long as I is lesser or equals to I is lesser than 3, I is lesser than 3, and I plus plus. So printf %f, because it's a float, right? Float data type. %f, and we take it from vector a I. Close it and close it. Then you're done. Don't forget to return 0 here. Yeah. So you're done with this. Let's do a dry run. So let's look at I changes. Okay, so the first line of the output, which is this printf here, the elements for vector A is, now I is 0, I is 0, and I should be smaller than 3. Yes, 0 is smaller than 3. Then it comes in here, so it printfs a value, vector A I. What is I? I is 0. Let me draw the box here to refresh your memory. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. Now remember, it's always an extra box because of the 0 it starts with. Okay, so vector A subscript I. What's I? I is 0. So vector A subscript 0 is 2.4. 2.4. Then it checks, is 0 smaller than 3? Yeah, it is. So it pluses. So I plus 1. So I is now 1. Printf the value of vector A at subscript 1. Subscript 1 is 6.2. So it displays 6.2. And then it comes up again, it checks. Now 2 is smaller than 3, so 2 plus plus. Now 1 plus 1, we have I is equal to 2. So I is 2 right now. So when it comes in here, vector A subscript 3, and I mean subscript 2, my bad, subscript 2, it means this one, so it displays 8.9. And now plus 1 for the reinitialization. Now I is equal to 3. Now the condition is that I am smaller than 3 to enter it in here. But I is 3 right now. Is 3 smaller than 3? False. Doesn't meet the condition. So in the end, what happens is that it gets out of the for loop and comes to this part, return 0, which means terminate the program. So this is how it works, remember? You've learned about how to create an array, a one-dimensional array. You've learned how to create, initialize the array. You've learned how to use the for loop in conjunction with array by manipulating the subscript in here. Remember this one, it's this that's important. This whole thing is called vector A. To call each individual one out, you need to have a subscript in here, which can be replaced by any number over here. So that's it for today. In the next video, I'll focus more on two-dimensional arrays and probably applications like matrices.